I apologize in advance, since I'm not a good writer, but I'll do my best to share my experience. To better paint the picture, here is a description of myself at the time of this incident, 3 years ago. 5'5", 26-year-old woman, medium-length bleach blonde hair, curvy, 175 pounds, wearing black high-waisted tights and a pink crop top. 3 years ago, I was walking home late at night from my friend's house. It was dark, and at the time I lived in a rough part of a large city. I've had many sketchy situations that I have gotten myself out of, so I guess I felt sort of invincible, and nothing truly scary could happen to me. When I walk alone, I always stay very alert and aware of my surroundings, for my own safety just in case. About halfway home, and roughly 10 minutes to my apartment, I noticed a van started tailing me. I was used to this, since in my city, it's very common for a young woman in a rough area to get propositioned for sex. It's embarrassing how desensitized to this I was. I did my usual and crossed the road, so that I would be walking beside the traffic heading in the other direction. I wasn't scared, just annoyed. The van then turned down a side street, then back onto the road I was on and pulled up to me. At this point, I still wasn't scared. Again, this has happened so many times, and it never mattered if I was wearing something that showed more skin, or if I was wearing a winter coat zipped from just below my chin all the way down to my ankles. That area is notorious for that type of activity. I decided to be firm and told the person sternly, "I'm not interested." I noticed there were 2 men in the van. They looked almost identical, may have been twins or brothers. Both men had a very, very dark complexion, dark eyes and short dark hair. The van didn't move. I was super annoyed and crossed the road again to get away. At this point, I figured this would be enough for them to stop following me. They didn't. They kept circling back every time I crossed the road. I've never had to put that much effort into getting a horny pervert to leave me alone. So this is when I started feeling unsafe. They zipped by me at the speed the traffic was flowing in, and I yelled for them to fuck off. I thought it finally worked. It had been 3 minutes and I hadn't seen the van, so I thought I was in the clear. Just in case, I pulled my phone out and was getting ready to call my sister that I lived with. Just then, the van pulled up to me very quickly, and before I could even blink, one of the men jumped out of the van, opened the back door, and approached me quickly in an aggressive manner, as if he was about to scoop me up and throw me into the vehicle. The traffic in that area is very inconsistent. It was dead, and I imagine this is what they were waiting for. Just as the man was about to place his hand on me, I tilted my phone and said, "You are being filmed in my live video chat. I gave my friends your license plate number, and the police have been notified." I was so scared, but I didn't let that show. I stayed as calm as I could. The man paused like he was considering if I was bluffing or telling the truth, so I tilted the phone more as if to give the fake audience a better look at him. He then jumped into the van, and they sped off. I have never been the same since that night. I'm afraid of walking alone now, even in the daytime. Stay safe out there. 2 creeps in a van? Let's not ever meet. I hope karma finds you both soon. Hi, this is my first post, so I'll do my best to make this interesting. This happened to me in the summer of 2015. I was dating a guy who lived in the city, and I was living at home at the time in the suburbs. Neither of us had a car, and since I lived at home with my bedroom right next to my grandma's, I always went to him. I take the subway to his place every week, and stay for the couple of days I had off from work. To get to his apartment required taking 2 trains. One day, I was headed to see him. It was super hot out, and I was wearing a skirt with straps, a crop top, and knee-high socks. Hey, I wanted to look cute. I guess I feel this is important, as I probably stood out in this outfit, and unfortunately, I probably should have been more careful about what I was wearing, which sucks, Anyway, I'm on the first train, and after a few stops, I notice a man get on. I kind of couldn't not notice him, as he chose to stand right in front of where I was sitting and stare at me, rather than take an empty seat. It made me feel weird. The man in general gave me a very creepy vibe. He was probably in his 40s, looked unkempt, but otherwise kinda just a basic looking white dude, whose face I can't even picture now. So I get off at the last stop and head through the station to where I need to catch the second train. But I notice this guy is following me, which at first I figured wasn't a big deal. He could have just been going to the same place. So to get to the platform I needed to be, you have to go up some stairs, and I realize he's right behind me. I decided to turn around and go to a different platform, which happened to be packed with people. Thinking if he follows me, then this is bad, but maybe I can lose him in the crowd. He follows me, and I try to duck out of view before going back to the actual platform I needed to be waiting on. I get there, and for a few minutes I feel better, until I see him again. He must have known I'd been there after I'd gone up there and turned around. Plus it was the only other platform, and most likely he saw me the whole time. There weren't too many people waiting compared to the other side, but a few trains came that was so full, I didn't bother to try to get on, and neither did he. The whole time I am texting my boyfriend, who is not taking me seriously at all. I asked he at least meet me at the station when I got to the stop by his apartment, a 5-minute walk, and he was being reluctant, but agreed finally. At this point, I'm still waiting for a train. One comes that's very full, but I'm getting restless. I want to get to a safe place, so I squeeze on, and so does the man right next to me with his arm over me. I decide that even with all these people around, I'm not safe. So right before the doors close, I hop out, and the train leaves with the guy on it staring at me as it pulled away. I waited for a few more trains to come and go, worried this guy would be waiting for me at the next stop or something. I got on a train, finally, paying attention to everyone who got on at each stop. He never did, and I made it to my stop, greeted by my boyfriend, who seemed put out by having to walk over. He's an ex-boyfriend and was generally kinda shitty. I'm really proud of myself for getting off that train at the last second. I don't know how much danger I was in, but I know that man was following me and definitely wasn't for any wholesome reason. And despite being in public, I feel like if he had tried anything, no one would have done shit. And I'm a very small and not strong person.